Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nasty Addiction Garage. My name is Jeremy. This is our 92 Toyota MR2. First and foremost, I want to thank all my subscribers. I want to say thank you for everything you guys have done. Again, I've been watching the analytics. Things are going great, guys. Thank you for watching and sticking through this build and watching my videos thoroughly, okay guys? So today is going to be about oil changing. We're going to do an oil change on the motor and we're going to do an oil change on the transmission. So I did put some oil in there prior to doing the swap and actually just turning it on and stuff like that, just to kind of just get things moving, but everything else has been set in there. We got a few other things that we got to finish, but that's going to be on a later date. But today we're going to do oil changes. So first we're going to be using Redline Lightweight Shockproof. I really like this stuff. This is good for more mileage, more mild transmissions. It's full synthetic. Most of you guys have heard this as Smurf blood just because it is blue in the color. This stuff works great. I also like using MT90. MT90 is good for those transmissions that are a little bit more newer, or something that you're going to use a little bit more frequently. This one is just because of the transmission's age or usage. This is what this is good for. Also, what we're going to be doing is changing out the filter, OEM filter for the 3S GTE. We are also going to RTV the oil pan, just because I did see some leaking and I want to make sure that's all brand new for the new owner, so they don't have to worry about it. Next would be the Valvoline full synthetic 5W20. This you can get anywhere. You can get it online, Amazon, eBay, wherever you want to get it, you can get it. But we're going to change that out as well. So let's go. Hey guys, so now that we're under the car, I want to show you guys a few things. So I got my oil pan set up. Also, this is the bolt here that we're going to use and we're going to remove to release the oil. But first what we want to do is up here, you want to loosen up the oil cap just so then you can release any pressure that is inside the engine. So we remove the oil cap. Now we're going to get down to the bottom and remove the actual oil pan. Let's go. Just kidding. We're actually not going to remove the oil pan just yet. We're actually going to remove the oil bolt to release the oil. Then we will be removing the oil cap or pan. There you go. So right now what I'm going to do is actually plug it up so then I can slowly start removing the actual bolt around the oil pan, because I am going to drop the oil pan just so then I can RTV it, just so then it's sealed perfectly. So I'm going to cap this up right now and start the removal process of the oil pan. Alright guys, as you can see, I removed every single bolt. There are two like this. It is just actually a nut. There's one there, and then one on this side right here. Literally two, let me see, two nuts. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bolts. I did place them here in the same order that I took them out in to match the actual oil pan. So now what I'm going to do is actually just start separating these. This has a whole bunch of RTV on it, so I'm going to have to pry it off. I'm probably going to use a long screwdriver or something that I can actually start taking it apart. I don't want to bend the actual oil pan because I don't want it to be off, but I'm definitely going to have to pry it apart from the block itself. So let's get that done. Alright guys, as you can see, I did remove the oil pan. Everything in here looks nice and clean. We got a little bit of grime over there, but for the most part everything does look really good. No metal flakes or anything, no pieces. Just a little bit of RTV, it looks like.
probably from the seals, but nothing too wild. I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do now is basically just scrape off all of this excess old like RTV, try to clean it up, dry it up as much as I can, because I do not want oil on the actual area where the seal goes, because what happens is that I know the RTV sometimes is oil resistance. It is oil resistant but not applied to oil. So basically what that means is that I can place it on something dry and it would resist the oil once it dries. But if I put it on oil, it won't dry and it won't be resistant to oil. So we don't want that. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up here. You can check this out here. No shimmering, no metal flakes, no nothing. I'm gonna do the same thing to the oil pan. I'm gonna clean it up and make sure that it looks proper. I'm gonna probably paint it up a little bit. It's a little scratched up. I'm gonna paint it up and clean it out a little bit. But for the most part, it looks good. So some old RTV. It looks like they used that gray stuff. So I got that black one. So it's gonna be real nice. It's oil resistant. So we'll go forth and do that. But next after this is gonna be the actual oil filter, and then we're gonna move on to the transmission here and change that out. So let's go. Alright guys, now that we got the oil pan out, what I want to be doing is actually removing all this extra stuff. You can see how it's all caked up on there and all in between these galleys, right? So what we're gonna do is, like, there's a groove. If you see super close, there's a groove right here that is where the actual RTV should sit in this whole grand scheme of things when you put it back on. But a lot of people like to do this just because sometimes the pressure of the oil actually pushes, or the pressure of the motor pushes oil through the sides if they're not fully covered. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna clean it up as much as we can and dry everything up, and then go ahead and put some Permatex RTV on this and make it into a gasket type of thing. All right guys, let's check it out.
So with Movie Magic, we were able to use some wax and grease remover and some razor blades to get all of this off. I did use the Dremel a little bit just to Dremel some of the sides, but as you guys can see, it's looking good. It's completely clean. There's no smudge or anything in it, so that's pretty good. This is the way I like to see it prior to me putting any RTV on any of these little galleys or openings here, just so then I know it's gonna be a clean surface. And from there, now what we're going to be doing is going on to the actual block. We're going to do the same thing to the block, just kind of clean it up, dry it up in the areas of where we have these fittings. So wherever we're going to bolt this up, that's what we're going to clean on the actual block. So let's get to it. Let's go. Alright guys, now that we are under the block right now, so you see the way there's all this oil. There's really nothing caked up, so I really don't have to do too much. But as you see, this is all oil. A lot of this is just oil from where it was actually leaking out of the RTV. I don't know when that RTV was done or whatnot, but I also got to change this up here because there's a lot of RTV in there. But what I'm going to do now is actually going to start removing all this extra stuff, with the towel, and try to see what comes out, and then use a razor blade for anything that doesn't want to come out. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright guys, after a nice cleanup, check it out. It came out really nice. Everything is nice and flat and nice and smooth and clean, as you can see.
As clean as it's gonna get. What I did do was just use a razor blade, kind of slowly go around, trying to pick off everything that I possibly can. Anything that actually sits on here, or that is on here right now, is just probably stained, but I can guarantee this is smooth and flat as possible as it's gonna get, actually. So I guess I could always use like a not a sander, but like a wire brush or something, sandstone or something that would help remove all this little like stains, but I'm not too worried about that. This is nice and flat. This is ready to be installed again. So basically what I'm going to do is apply RTV in the sections that go in between here, all around the actual pan itself, and then slowly kind of sit it up here, then start bolting all the bolts in. I know there's a sequence to the bolts, I forgot what it was, but I'm gonna do my best to remember and use them that way. So got all the bolts right there and ready to be installed, so let's get to it, guys.
Alright guys, so what we're going to be doing now is RTVing the actual oil pan. So there's a sequence in doing it. If you check it out, they have these little divots here, and they're meant for a reason. These are supposed to hold all oils and help with sealing the actual tank itself. So the way I'm going to do this, just to cover all, like all the way, each side, I'm going to go from side to side in a S fashion. So it's going to be like this. And I'm gonna be generous with the actual application, just because you want as much sealing as you possibly can. So there we go. From basically from inlet to inlet, just to try to cover as much as you can. I like to sometimes go around here and keep going. Alright guys, so now that I finished, as you see, I got RTV in all of the sections. I kind of just zigzag back and forth around the whole pan. Some might say this too much, some might say this too little, but I like to do it this way. I've had a lot of success doing it this way, so I'm going to continue doing it this way. But let's get to this block and let's add this oil pan. Let's go. Alright guys, it is up and bolted all up, looking good. So I still got to bolt that one there. I still got to tighten that one there. These are all going to be hand tightened again, so we should be good. But what I'm going to do next is remove the oil filter after I finish tightening that one last bolt there, and we'll go from there, guys. So let's go. Alright guys, as you can see, the oil filter now is on, it's hand tightened, it's on there really well. Brand new filter, nicely cleaned out oil pan with all the bolts bolted back up with some new RTV. As you can see, everything is sealed very appropriately, so we should be good, guys. So now what we're going to do is tighten up this bolt here. I've already tightened up this bolt here, so now what we're going to do is then tighten this and fill it up with oil. Let's go. Alright guys, now that we have the pan cleaned up, RTV'd, and reinstalled, we also have a brand new oil filter. So now all we need is the oil. So we're going to put this funnel right here where the oil cap goes, and then we're going to start filling it up with oil. So let's go. Alright guys, now what we're going to be doing is actually checking the oil. Since we've already filled up some oil, let's check where our oil is at. We'll go from there. So we can fill maybe a little bit more. We're not quite there yet. Let me get once more.
So right there, maybe a little bit more and we'll be at full. So we were literally right at this part right here. So now what you want is to the second little dot or the second little line usually on these oil dipsticks, this being low, this being high or full. So we're gonna put a touch bit more and then we're moving on to the transmission. So let's go. As you see, we are right at the line right here. So it's perfect. We're literally right here. So it's perfect amount of oil. So now let's move on to the transmission. All right, guys. So now we're moving on to the transmission. So I made this nice little handy funnel filler thing. So this was the old hose to my coolant reservoir, my aftermarket coolant reservoir, and it connected to literally a funnel that I had inside the house. So what I did was zip tie it here, just so then it could be high enough for me to drop the fluid in. What I'm gonna do is move this all the way down there next to the transmission, and I'll grab it once I'm under there, and we'll go from there. But it seems to fit well. Let's see if it works well. I'm gonna go down now to the bottom. Let's see, the bottom down here, which is going to, let's see, this is gonna be this is the coolant that was just flowing from the actual water neck. I didn't have a coolant reservoir, now I do, which I'm going to be installing soon. But this is the emptying bolt, and then right up here is the filler. So I'm gonna use the hose from here, fill it in there. While I have that open to be filled, I'm going to be emptying it here. So first off, I'm gonna open this and let it empty itself. And then from here, I'm going to fill that up, or open that up, put the little funnel hose right into there and fill it up. So let's go. Alright guys, look at this, is disgusting. I do not know what type of oil or how long this oil's been sitting in there. I don't know if this is, I never have opened up a trans with this color fluid. Hope this is not something detrimental. Prior to this, it had been shifting great, doing everything great, but I'm not sure exactly if that color is supposed to be appropriate. As you can see, it's seems clean enough in there, but I really can't tell from this angle. But this fluid is disgusting. I don't know. Fluid is never supposed to be this color. So I don't know the actual. Oh my God! I'm tripping on this color. I don't know the actual last time this oil was even changed. So hopefully this lightweight shockproof helps it. What I'm gonna do is kind of flush it a little bit with some actual lightweight shockproof to see if it actually ends up getting to the end of this. And once this is all out and all I see is lightweight shockproof, then I will be happy. Alright guys, so let's get to it. Now that we have basically the opening here open to drain all this old fluid, what we're gonna do is open up the actual filler side so then we can start filling and start pushing this old oil out and the new oil in. Alright guys, I removed this bolt. This bolt is the filler hole. Nothing actually came out of here because it's meant to go in that way. I'm trying to see and look inside there to see what color this fluid is in there, and it looks pretty nasty. Not gonna lie to you guys. It's got that nasty gray-ish fluid. I don't know what that was. I don't know what it used to be or what it used to look like, but it's like this color that's falling right here. So regardless, we're going to flush that out with the lightweight shockproof. I'm glad I'm doing that then, just so then I know that the transmission fluid is going to be new. So what I'm going to do is put this in here as far as it can go and kind of let it sit there. As it sits, I'm going to be filling it from up top with the lightweight shockproof. I know I could only imagine it's going to take a little bit since that thing is super thick. I'm going to try to prop it up with something, maybe a screwdriver or something, just so then it can fall directly in there. And then once I start seeing it come out of here on the exit side, I'm going to then cap it. And once I start capping it, I'll fill the rest of the way, okay? So let's get to that, guys, and get it going. Guys, as you can see, the lightweight shockproof is coming out through the bottom. I'm gonna try to get it to flush out most of this. As you see, it's pushing it out. So that's okay. This is what we want. So it's coming out really good. As you can see, it's dripping out perfect. So let's get this done, and I'm gonna continue pouring until I see more lightweight shockproof come out than this gray stuff. So let's go. Alright guys, as you see, the majority of this fluid is now blue. What I'm going to do now is plug it up, just because at this point what I want is the majority of this fluid to be this lightweight shockproof. So let's do it. Plugging it up. I'm not going to fully tighten it because I was reading in the big green book is that I believe that these transmissions take 3.5 bottles. So what I'm going to do is use the rest of the bottles. I only used half to flush it out, and the rest I'm going to do is actually put it in. So let's go. Alright guys, so I had to take it out. It started to overfill or over drip from here, so I decided to remove it, and it's full. So all this was lightweight shockproof, so I did lose some, nothing too crazy, but it's filled, guys. So I did plunger it back up. I did put the actual bolt on. I'm going to clean this up, tighten both bolts, the drain and the filler, and go from there. Alright guys, as you can see, tighten them both up, and now they are nice and tight on there, nice and cleaned up. Don't have to worry about anything leaking now, and the majority that was coming out was lightweight shockproof, so I'm totally okay with that. I know it was coming out from the filler side, but the drain side was plugged, so I'm pretty confident that most of the old transmission fluid came out and was replaced with the new stuff. So let's go.
Alright guys, this is going to conclude today's episode. First and foremost, again, I want to thank all my subscribers. So after today's video, you should know now how to change your oil. You should at least know how to change out your transmission fluid, but that's what we did today. We replaced the old nasty, which you guys seen was looking like a grayish nastiness, with lightweight shockproof from Redline. We also changed the engine oil and the filter, changed with the OEM filter, cleaned out the oil pan, re-RTV'd it, bolted everything back up, and have it looking really nice. And change the oil out with some Valvoline 5W30 or 5W20, I believe. So yeah, so guys, until next time, first and foremost, again, I always like to thank my subscribers. Always thank you for watching. Make sure you continue watching and watch these videos fully through, guys. This is Nasty Addiction. My name is Jeremy. This is our 92 Toyota MR2, and we build differently.